I think I would tell them that there are a lot of myths out there about dual language learning, about learning two languages. One is that your child will be delayed. Another one is that your child will get confused learning two languages. Another one is that bilinguals are less intelligent than monolinguals. And another one that also relates to your example is that reducing to one language will improve a child's chance for success. As far as your child being a bit delayed, I think it's extremely prevalent. I think it comes from many different sources. I myself have had two pediatricians tell me this when they find out that we're raising our own children to be bilingual. And again, they do it thinking that it's helpful, but so what I heard was, well, don't be surprised, your children may be delayed because they're learning two languages, and coming from a very respectable source, parents, of course, are going to believe this recommendation. And interestingly, I've looked thoroughly both for professional reasons as well as for personal reasons, and there's really no evidence indicating that this is true. So with the first pediatrician, I took it with a grain of salt, and we continued to do what we do at home, which is use two languages. With the second pediatrician, it was interesting because I actually then decided to say, oh, well, this is actually my area of expertise. I've been studying this for a number of years, and here's actually what the research says, which is that bilingualism doesn't cause any deficit. And there is no indication that children will be delayed if they're learning two languages. And interestingly, the pediatrician didn't believe me. So, what can you do? But so I know that parents are hearing this again from many sources. And if it comes from a doctor, it's considered to be valid, good information. So it causes a lot of fear, and it causes a lot of parents to change their minds and say, you know what, my goodness, I want the best for my child. If I'm hearing that the best for my child is one language, then that means we're going to let the other language go, and that's very unfortunate because, again, there's no evidence indicating that that's true. On the contrary, there's a lot of evidence indicating that there are a number of advantages of bilingualism. So that's the first one. The other one, your child will be confused. Again, it's a really prevalent myth. I've heard it even from parents who are themselves bilingual, even from professionals who are themselves bilingual. Simply, we can look at this question from a world context. More than half of the world is bilingual. In fact, in many places, people are trilingual, speak multiple languages, and confusion isn't a problem, and it's not a true issue here either. It's what I think people mistake as signs of confusion or in fact normal stages of learning two languages. Children who speak one language make a lot of errors. They're not signs of confusion, they're just a normal part of learning, right? And the same is true for children who learn two languages. Some programs where there's not a structure in which they're teaching children two languages, it's sort of haphazard. Well, the condition is confusing. And the last one, that reducing to English will improve a child's chance for success, we have to be very careful with that one because, again, there's no evidence indicating that's true.
It's famously said that Thomas Edison wasn't very good at school. Albert Einstein wasn't particularly good at it either.
Well, of course, it isn't about school. It's about the first 6 years of life. If we go back and look at the early life of these children, we will find that they were in enriched environments. I think we think they're a product of some happy genetic accident. And we would say every child born has a greater potential intelligence than Leonardo ever used in his lifetime.
I gather you think it's important to let children move, too.
Oh, very important. Very important. If you think about it, a baby in utero is free. He's in that warm, aqueous environment where he can kick, he can even roll over, and then he's born into a world in which now he has one gravity pushing him down. He's in a big fat body. He has to learn very quickly how to move in that new environment. And the question is, are we going to help him or are we going to hinder him? Are we going to put him on his belly without a lot of heavy clothes and blankets and get down on the floor with him and encourage him to move? Or are we going to bundle him up in 5 blankets, really confining him from the neck down? When we do that, the baby must think we're crazy. He needs to move.
How much of this, though, is inherent? Aren't some kids just born smarter than others?
Well, you know, we like to think that. That's kind of an escape for us when we don't want to step up and really take responsibility for our babies. We would say that you and I, all of us, we fall so far below our genetic ceiling. It's so high above us that to even discuss genetics is almost, it's almost silly.
Well, let me ask you about another contribution to someone's overall intelligence, if not the kinds of things their parents do for them, their own personality and the opportunities that the wider world affords them.
Well, that's right. Every baby is born with his own personality, his own unique personality. And the more we put him in that enriched environment, the more opportunity he has visually, auditorily, tactily, the more mobility opportunity and language opportunity and manual opportunity, the more he gets to express his own personality. So it's really, if you want to see that real personality in full bloom, you need to give him that environment.
Now, we just have a moment, so let me ask you, a lot of parents are going to be watching this feeling terribly guilty, as I feel at this moment, wondering if they've let their child down.
The only thing that really seriously worries us is that mothers will get kind of bullied out of their own natural, intuitive sense of what to do with the baby. You know, mothering is the oldest profession, not the other one. And mothers, you know, if mothers just follow their own instincts of what would stimulate their baby, what would be fun for the baby, what will make them and the baby happy together, they're right almost 99% of the time.